Pokemon cards used to just be shiny cardboard. Now, that same cardboard can cost you $50, $500, sometimes thousands of dollars. And once real money gets involved, people stopped acting like collectors and start acting very different. Some people level up. They become more honest, more professional, more trustworthy. And some people, they'll smile at you, they'll shake your hand, and still try to get one over on you. Because this hobby isn't just about cards anymore. It's about trust, reputation, money, and experience. So today, I want to talk about how people should act in this hobby, how to tell the difference between a vendor and a scalper, and how to spot the difference between a good vendor and a bad one before you learn the hard way. If this is your first time here, my name's Kris, and this is Entei's Inferno. This is where we talk about the Pokemon hobby from a collector and a vendor perspective, the real side of it. If you enjoy episodes like this, or just like hearing my voice, make sure you follow the podcast wherever you're listening, and check out my content on Instagram at Entei's Inferno TCG. All right, let's get into it. This hobby has changed. A couple of years ago, you could treat this casually. Now, granted, you can still treat it casually, but you're dealing with real money. And when money is involved, everything changes. Now, is this card actually mint? Is this seller trustworthy? Is this price fair? Am I getting burned right now? And here's the part people don't say enough. There are people in this hobby spending money they worked hard for. Kids saving allowance. Adults budgeting for grails. Collectors chasing something meaningful to them. So when you mess that up for someone, it's not just, oh, it's just cardboard. It matters. Now, let's fix this term because it gets abused. The word scalper. Not every vendor is a scalper. And honestly, calling every vendor a scalper just makes you sound like you don't understand how this hobby actually works. Let's break it down. A real vendor spends money up front, takes on the risk, sits on their inventory, shows up to events, answers questions, builds relationships. They're not just flipping cardboard. They're providing access and a service. A scalper, on the other hand, that's different. They buy fast, hold supply hostage, jack prices with no reasoning, add zero value to the hobby, and then they disappear after the sale. A vendor builds the hobby. A scalper squeezes it dry. What people don't realize a vendor does, or shall I say, a good vendor, they take the time. For example, at the time of me filming this podcast, right? I have a show this weekend. It's currently at the beginning of the week. The show is on Saturday. I am already starting my show prep. Why? Because I need to go through all my cards that I have in inventory. I need to make sure the prices match the current market. I need to make sure all my slabs are cleaned. I need to make sure they're in bags. I need to make sure they're prepped. So if someone buys them, they take them home. I want to make sure that all my freebies and things, my stickers and everything like that are ready to go. Everything is organized for the best experience over on the other side of the table. Now, people might hear that and go, oh, Kris, that's not that hard. Okay, I need to explain something to people. You think that we just sit here and think of a number of a price and everything gets done for you? No. I have a binder that fits over 400 cards that I bring to shows for singles. How do you think each one of those cards gets put into a sleeve? How do you think each one of those sleeves gets a sticker with a price on it? How do you think each one of those cards in a sleeve with a sticker and a price gets put into the sleeve of the binder? Yeah. That alone takes about 2 days to do. Not to mention that I have slabs as well. Those need to have market prices. Those need to be in bags. I also put my sticker in each bag, and I also make sure I print a nice label with my logo on it with the price on the top right corner. Do you think those all magically happen? No. I need to do that. That takes another full day. And that's not talking about literally scanning each card or searching each card on my phone, trying to find out what the market price is to make sure I give you the best, most accurate price so I'm not screwing anybody over. That is the time and effort that goes on behind the scenes of a good vendor. And that's just scratching the surface. There's a lot more. And if you like that and want to hear more about that, please let me know because I would love to go into more detail about that. Now, let's talk about bad vendors. Here's where it gets real because not every vendor is good for the hobby either. And this is where I get a little fired up, so please excuse me in advance. Let's go with my pet peeves. Pet peeve number 1, not having any prices listed. If your cards are not priced out before a show and you put them on your table, I'm already mentally checked out. If I walk up to your table, nothing has a price on it, and now I have to 1, pull out my phone, 2, look up comps on my own, and 3, do all the work that you should have done. Why am I doing your job? You're the vendor. You're supposed to make the experience easier for me as somebody, as a client or a buyer, not turn it into my homework. I didn't show up to the show to do homework on my own. Pet peeve number 2, phone zombies. If you're behind your table scrolling on your phone, not greeting anybody, no eye contact, 0 interaction, what are we doing here, people? You're not running an online store from your phone. You're at a live show. Engage with the people in front of you. Pet peeve number 3, delusional pricing. If a card is worth $100 and you've got it listed for $150 or more for no reason, I don't even want to talk to you because now I already know what kind of interaction this is going to be. I've had a lot of people at shows come from other tables to talk to me or talk to my group of vendors that I'm with. And I hear all the time, oh man, this card was listed at $150 at another table. You have it for $100. Or, oh wow, you actually have your cards priced out. The last guy I went to, he didn't even have any prices on his. At the end of the day, those things matter. Perfect segue. Now let's flip it. This is what I try to do and what I respect when I see it and other vendors doing it. Everything at their table is priced out. At market, sometimes even below market. At my table, I always greet people, I talk to people, I make it easy, and most importantly, I'm transparent. I want to make sure that you are as comfortable as possible at my table. So if a slab is scratched, I'm going to tell you. If a card isn't going to gem, I'll tell you that too. If a card is just a binder copy, I'll tell you. And if I'm over market on a card I like, I'll literally just say that. Hey, I'm a little attached to this one. I put it above market because I really don't want to get rid of it. But if you want to pay my price of what I think it's worth, I'll sell it to you, but I'm going to regret it later. At the end of the day, I'd rather lose a sale than have someone feel like they got played leaving my table. Because here's the truth. Good vendors don't sell cards. They sell confidence. And people don't buy cards. People buy from people. One of my favorite things to do at my table when people come up is just helping. Teaching at my table has become one of my favorite things. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a know-it-all or I'm always 100% right or I'm the master at collecting. But there's a lot of people that have very little knowledge and they're just looking for someone to point them in the right direction. And being able to provide that as a service, being able to provide that just because I want to help them, that is one of my favorite parts about vending. Now, I want to educate you guys a little bit. If you're buying cards, slow down. Ask questions. Now, if you're buying online or Instagram or eBay or something like that, make sure you ask for back photos of the card, corner shots, maybe a close-up, or maybe a video if needed. Now, if you're in person or you're at a show and you're looking to buy cards, check the centering, the whitening, And check for any surface damage. You could shine it in a light. Ask people if you could take it out of the sleeve or take it out of the top loader. Now, always make sure you ask because it is polite. You don't want to just start yeeting cards out of binders. But if someone gets annoyed when you ask questions like this is a big one. Walk away immediately. Because good vendors don't get defensive. They help you understand what you're buying. Bad vendors, well, let's just say you'll feel the vibes a little different when you ask a question. Now, one of the biggest things I do want to make sure I tell you guys is if you have a gut feeling. Now, if you're talking to a vendor, it doesn't feel right, they make you feel uncomfortable, they feel like they're trying to get one over on you, your gut is probably right. I'm telling you that now. So trust your gut and you'll thank me later. Another reality is this hobby is starting to look like a real collectibles market. Card shops are literally getting robbed at gunpoint. Shows have theft. This is closer to watches and jewelry now than people even realize. So I'm not trying to say this to be scary or something. I just want you to be aware. Protect your stuff. This isn't just cardboard anymore. This is serious money. Pay attention, but don't let that scare you out of enjoying it. With all that said, don't lose what makes this fun. This hobby is still for the kids. Without the kids, we don't have a hobby in the future. For the excitement, for opening packs, for pulling your favorite Pokémon. Yes, be smart, and yes, be aware of your surroundings. Don't let money turn this into something it's not supposed to be. The fastest way to ruin your name in this hobby is short-term greed. The fastest way to build one, be honest, be transparent, and treat people right. Because this hobby remembers, and your reputation follows you. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow the podcast and check out my content on Instagram at Entei's Inferno TCG. I appreciate you all for being here, and I'll catch you on the next one.